Okay, now this page is actually going to help you with two parts of your homework. So hopefully this will help us kind of get an idea of how to do those. Now we're going to do some translating. We're going to have to be able to take things as propositions and put them in symbols and back to propositions. So we have to be able to write it out. Now, I went and wrote a legend here. Okay, a legend just means like you would in a map, telling you what things means. And so I use my propositions. Now, just to do, they're all valid. The one that I want to make sure that everyone agrees with me on, we're just going to say that's a false statement because I was thinking February has 28 or 29 days. Even though I know there are 27 days in February, it still has more than that. So I should have probably written February has only 27 days. And then I could have finally, you know, been able to say it's false for sure. So let's just go with that for right now. And the rest of them should be very obvious if they're true or false. So now this is what it's asking. It says, write the verbal translation of each statement, then state its validity. So here is the symbolic form. I have X or Z. So X is the following. It's 2 times 2 equals 4, or Z, which is 2 times 1 equals 3. Now what's the validity for that? Well, that's a true or false, which gives me a true, I gotta make sure I write my whole stuff down here, right? A true statement. But now look at the next one. It says not Y. Well, Y is 2 times 3 equals 6. Well, not Y is gonna be 2 times 3 does not equal 6. And then this is my and symbol. So and, where's my M? 1 plus 7 equals 6. So now when I do this one, that's gonna be false and false. Well, false and false statement is what for validity? So here's my verbal translation, or English translation if you want to say of that, and this would be your validity. So yes, you're going to have to show both parts. Now let's look at this next one. I have if P, then Q. Now notice I said if P, then Q because if is still going to have to go first here. P is the following. There are 52 weeks in a year, and then I have my then, because it goes right here, then Q. February has 27 days. Now I abbreviated February. We should write it out if we had more time. Now looking at that, that gives me a true then false statement, which makes it false. Now again, we assume February has 27 days would be false. Now let's look at the next one. Not Q. If, now notice how I read that. If not Q, then R. So my if tells me I take Q here and I go if February does not have 27 days, then what's R? Mondays are before Tuesdays. Now all it's doing is writing a conditional statement with those, and I like this one because if all I did was go not Q and we said it was false, that made that a true, right, statement, and then Mondays are before Tuesdays, that's true. I get true then true. True that it is. Or you know, if you need to see the first step, it's right there as well. Now those aren't hard to do, but this is the directions for one part of it. But what if I go the other way around? Now look at this one. It says write the following statements in symbolic form using the symbols given above. So I have to use the propositions up above. This says then tell whether the statement is true or false. So like here, 2 times 2 does not equal 4, or 1 plus 7 does not equal 6. Well, 2 times 2 equals 4 is X. So to do that right, I'm going to have to go not X, or, and then I go 1 plus 7 equals 6. Well, 1 plus 7 equals here, so I want not equal, so I go not M. Now what's the validity of that? Well, that's going to be not true or not false. So I get false or true, but still I can choose the true statement. But here I have if, let's look at the next one. If there are 52 weeks in a year, then February does not have 27 days. So I have an if-then statement. So I know it's a conditional statement. Well, there are 52 weeks in a year. Well, that's P. And then I know, oh, February does not have 27 days. So it's going to be not Q. So what does that give for us then? Well, we know this is true, and then I have not false. Well, that's true, then true. I still have a true statement. Now let's look at one more. Mondays are before Tuesday, and 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So here's the thing here. Mondays are before Tuesday. That's R. And I get 2 times 3 equals 6. Well, that's Y. I mean, very easy symbolic representation of what we're doing. Here's a few things. If you get a longer multi-compound sentence, understand there's going to be brackets and parentheses that you're going to have to use. You have to still think grouping. If there's commas, think grouping, or think that's where it ends. So here, we got it real quick. We know this is true, and we know this is true. We still have a true statement. So here is your symbolic form, and this is your validity. Here's your symbolic form, validity. Symbolic, validity. Hopefully that helps you get started on your homework with these.